recovery week, so I've come down to the seaside, but not putting on the flip-flops. Still going to be doing a 2-hour easy run, because recovery week doesn't mean just chilling completely, just lower volume and lower intensity. So as I make my way along this somewhat more technical coastal track than I thought it'd be, I'll give you a summary of the week. And on Monday, started off with an easy recovery run, heart rate zone 1 as usual, fasted, and then on Tuesday did some intervals. So still some high intensity work there. Legs are feeling pretty tired actually after the long runs that I'd done at the weekend, and especially the calves, and my feet were taking a little bit of a battering as well. So I did some research and I'll come back to that a bit later on in the video. Tuesday intervals, as I mentioned, it was 3 by 5 minutes, it was just 10k, recovery week, so not too strenuous. And then on Wednesday, it's Wednesday of week 8, recovery week, and took the opportunity of an easier week to do a hike, get the ice axe, the crampons out one last time before all the snow melts, and get some altitude. Pretty stunning. One of the reasons I climbed up the col was to try and get down to the finish line of this cycling race, the Volta de Catalunya. Not sure I'll make it before the riders get there, but I'm going to head down now. Friday I did an uphill simulation, and that was one of the shortest ones, which was great because it tied in nicely with recovery week. And then Saturday today, just done about a 10k, and it's been a mix of a jog and a walk. I am feeling it, as I mentioned, my calves in particular, my feet are a little bit battered. So before I do a roundup of all the totals for the week, well, it is worth noting as well actually that I did a cycle yesterday, 100 kilometers with about 2,500 meters of climbing, which may sound like quite a lot, but it's nowhere near as tough on the feet and the legs as running is. And it was just a great day, so I just wanted to get out on the bike, also because I've got a bit of a project coming up, so I need to make sure I get my cycling fitness up. Anyway, back to me at home. One other thing to note is that I saw my first snake today whilst out running, so if you see a spike in my heart rate data, that was the reason why. Before I get to the final roundup of the week for the total distance covered, just a quick note on the points I made earlier about the fatigue I was feeling in my calves and also in my feet, I think from, it's quite rocky terrain I've been running on. And so when I did Sweden Triathlon last year, they were sponsored by a company called Quilter, who make recovery socks and calf sleeves. So I got in touch with them and they very kindly supplied me with some products to try out. So I will be trying those out over the next few weeks to help with my recovery, in particular after my long runs at the weekend. So now getting on to a summary of the week. First off, I'll look at the run. And as you can see, overall, it was significantly less than a normal build week, which is what the whole point of recovery week is. But I still did over 2,000 meters of climbing, so it wasn't a complete week off from running by any stretch of the imagination. And as I mentioned, there was still some higher intensity work there in the interval session, as well as an uphill climb simulation. Cycling, I did just the one ride, but it was 100 kilometers, again with over 2,000 meters of climbing in that one ride. And the reason for that is, as I mentioned earlier, I do it for cross training, and also I've got a project coming up in a few weeks that I'm training for, so there will be some other long rides coming up in the future. Looking at the training stress score, this is where it gets quite interesting, because that long ride that I did actually had a really high training stress score because of the effort I was putting in on that ride. So overall the training stress score is actually quite high, But when I look at it in isolation just for running, which you can see on screen now, you can see the impact that the build weeks and then the recovery weeks have. So actually, from a training stress score from running, it's been quite an easy week. And I think that's quite reflective, because although cardiovascularly and you do get a little bit of muscle wear and tear from the cycling, the running takes far more of a toll on my legs than the cycling does. So looking at it in isolation for just running is quite an interesting graph there as well, which you can see. Overall, for the total fatigue and fitness levels, you can see that they have been on the rise, but again, when I put that into isolation, it actually looks quite good. So you can see the impact of the fatigue level dropping quite quickly, whereas when I look at it overall with that cycling, it's remained quite high after recovery week and wouldn't be where I want it to be. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and give it a like, and I'll see you next time.